pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Curry trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
Just a little bit
follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the Fastest Sim Racing Tour Renegade Pro Cup Series here, live from the Texas Motor Speedway. As always, I'm your host, JoeTowNetwork. Alongside me tonight, you know him, you love him. He completes this Cup of Joe up here in the booth, taking you throughout this late-night event, Mr. Joseph Weaver. Welcome back to the booth, Weaver.
Hello, Joe, and hello, everybody at home. Glad to be back in the booth here for some racing at the Fast Racing League here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway.
And tonight, folks, we are in for a treat. It's going to be a fantastic night of racing here in Fort Worth. The round of 12 kicks off tonight for the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series. After a crazy round of 16, we now move to the round of 12, which is comprised of 3 very unique racetracks this Texas Motor Speedway tonight. Next week, these drivers will head to Talladega, and the following week, the Charlotte Roval Weaver. A lot of folks would say that this is the race that you can kind of peg as the one that you could figure out coming into the night. However, we've both been watching the NASCAR Cup Series race today. We both know that's, quite honestly, is just not the case.
Right, Joe. I don't think there's any track in this day and age and how competitive these drivers are here at the Fast Racing League that you can really say you have figured out, and all the different nuances that go on during a race that can change the outcome. I think this one's just as much as a wild card as a Talladega or another road course.
And tonight, folks, we're going to be going for 117 circuits around this 1.5-mile track, reconfigured. So we got the flat turns 1 and 2, the more steeper banking in 3 and 4. Fixed setup, as always, here in the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series, as well as a stage break on lap 40, where we'll award points to drivers. And those points, Weaver, they can be crucial, especially for the playoff guys.
Yeah, Joe. Starting around here, everybody's close on points again. Here in the playoffs, those stage points will really give you a chance to get an advantage on drivers early.
And Jacob Smetana comes into tonight in that 42 car, 28 points to the cutoff line. Really the only driver that has to feel pretty confident in being able to make it to the next round. But when I look at that cut line from 6th all the way back to 12th, 3 points separating all 7 of those drivers.
Yeah, Joe, we have a really close battle coming in here. Like I said, going into the stage, points resetting a little bit. A lot of drivers close there, 2 under. You got Sean Romero, Cody Luke, Oscar Ramos, James Moore on the outside looking in. But it's going to be interesting to see how today's race shakes up, and it really sets the landscape for the rest of this round.
It sets the tone. You have a bad night tonight at Texas. You're going to have to go to Talladega next week, maybe a little more desperate than you would like to be. And then we all know how that can shake out on a super speedway. That sets you to a very difficult Charlotte Roval track, which is probably one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult road courses that these drivers will go to this year. Again, unique set of challenges here in the Fast Cup Series. You see those points, though. If you're Smetana, you feel pretty good. I think if you're Joshua Moyers, Randall Coleman, Matt Watkins, Tyler Mallon, you're feeling okay. Moyers a little bit better than those other 3 names that I said, but when you have a lead like that coming into tonight, when you have a little bit of a buffer zone, does that kind of make you stay a little less aggressive at the start of the race, maybe a little more conservative.
I tell you what, Joe, personally, no lead is ever safe, and I wouldn't leave it up to chance. I never want to put myself in a position to lose that advantage that I have. I want to be able to keep gaining on my advantage. So I think the goal is to still come out here and get the best finish possible, ultimately trying to win the race.
Well, it looks like qualifying has run its course, Weaver. You know what that means. It's time for you to take us through tonight's starting lineup.
Yes, sir, Joe. Starting on pole tonight, points leader right now, the number 42 of Jacob Smetanas, clocking in at 28.154. Starting the outside, row 1 is the 64 of Toby Roberson. Row 2, we have the 81 of Tyler Mallon and the 1 of Denny Carroll. Row 3 is the 43 of Peter Smetana and the 71 of Sean Romero. Row 4 is the 088 of Greg Lavelle and the 70 of John Foreman. Row 5 is the 93 of Jovan Anderson and the 9 of Randall Coleman. Row 6 is the 16 of Ali Liara. Row 12 of Sean Whitehill starting on the outside, row 6.
In 12th spot. That's what got you.
Out there. There's double 12s on my screen. Moving on to row 7, we have the 03 of James Moore and the 11 of Billy Ryan. Row 8, we have the 26 of Phil Parker and the 8 of Cody Luke. Row 9 is the 27 of Tyler Stallhood and the 048 of Alex Moe. Row 10 is the 50 of Oscar Ramos Jr. and the 33 of Jeff Goodpaster. Row 11 in our final row is the 68 of Joshua Moyers and the 15 of Matt Watkins.
Well, that last row, pretty interesting. Those are two of the drivers that we feel have a little bit more of a buffer back to the playoff cup line. So starting out back tonight going to be a challenge for them, although the pit stalls, you know, sometimes guys like to be at the back end of pit road in some of these races and these league races. You know, it gets you maybe a little bit cleaner entry-exit as the night goes on. But nonetheless, going to be a great race tonight. 22-car field here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Cars out there in happy hour getting the final shakedown of things. We're getting our final footing here from Texas, getting ready to take you through tonight's 117 laps of racing action. Make sure, if you haven't already, folks, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Again, that does so much to help support us here on JTN. We do all kinds of great NR 2003 broadcasting, if I do say so myself. Live multiple times a week. So if you got that little racing bug, right? You want to watch some racing, you got that itch. You know, just stay tuned right here to JTN. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified anytime we go live. Redline TV commenting first. Congratulations. Here is your cookie. Your cookie is me shouting you out. Congrats. Thank you.
You know what they say about commenting, is it's always good. Exactly.
You see Sean Whitehill there in the JTN JoeTowNetwork merch store car. It's a great opportunity for us to remind you, if you can go that extra mile and help support us here on JTN, you can head to the merch store. We got a link down in the video description below. Got some great offerings on there, including some JTN race car merch, which has Sean Whitehill's 2021 version of both his normal JTN car as well as his JTN merch store car that he drove over in the USORL Cup Series. I wouldn't be a good YouTuber if I didn't have a merch store that probably doesn't get as much traffic as it really should, you know?
Hey, you know, as long as it's there, people have the option if they want, you know?
Redline said he had a raisin in the cookie. Did you put the raisin in the cookie, Weaver?
I might not have, though.
Ugh,
I might have ate it.
Okay.
I like some berries.
Joey
I'll
Rovers.
say though, Joe, it's starting to cool down out there. People might start looking at getting themselves a nice hoodie.
We got some crew necks up there too. I believe our JTN box logo, which is our logo. Our JTN logo merch is available on a crew neck, so you can check that out as well.
What about we ever looked into some beanies, Joe?
I can look into some beanies. Embroidery is very difficult though, with the way our logo's set up.
We gotta make an embroidery logo separately. We got a whole line for hats.
Yeah, I was working on that. I was just very disappointed when I figured out that we couldn't get our JTN normal logo on a hat because of some of the way the outlining and the design of the logo is. It's just not thick enough. So there could be, Allie. There could be. Randall Coleman there in the Tire Pros number 9. Saw Coleman up towards the top of the grid here in the playoffs. The offs, as some would like to say out there. Not me, but some. You a big fan of calling it the offs?
In certain situations, I feel like it's more reserved. Fits better in certain sports.
Mm-hmm. Not in this one.
I don't really like saying playoffs a whole lot in general, but
when it comes to racing, you don't like playoffs?
no, I still like Chase. Chase sounds good for a race.
The retro JTN on the hat is what I'm looking at trying to do, and that is a very good shout, Redline. Very good shout. Drivers being called to their cars. We're getting gridded on the back straightaway here. Fans are packed here at the Texas Motor Speedway. They just saw the conclusion of the Cup Series, NASCAR Cup Series race. They're ready to watch the start of the FAST Renegade Cup Series race. Command coming here shortly.
Some good timing there by the small dogs NASCAR, getting their race done just in time for us to use our reservation here.
I was gonna say that was gonna be pretty bad if we were out there racing with them.
Drivers, start your engine!
As you hear the command, these 22 racers get their motors running here for the Texas Motor Speedway. We get ready to go racing here in the Lone Star State. Jake Smetana comes into tonight 28 points to the good, gonna roll off on the pole with Toby Roberson currently 2 points out to his outside. Row 2 has Tyler Mallon in the 81 and the 1 car Denny Carroll. 43 Peter Smetana and 71 of Sean Romero on row 3. Greg Lovell and John Foreman row 4. And rounding out your top 10 tonight going to be Jovan Anderson in the 93 and the 9 car of Randall Coleman. 117 laps here tonight, folks. So glad you're joining us as we get ready to go racing here from No Limits, Texas. Green flag, and we're underway here. Smetana already able to get out to a lead. Mallon now to the inside of Roberson. This is the battle for second. Coming off the corner, Mallon going to be able to clear the 64. Firmly takes that spot. Further on back, Lovell to the inside of Romero. Romero's falling back here as Jovan Anderson now gets to the inside and will complete the pass off of turn number 4.
Problem here, Joe. The Gremlin's got my monitor again this week.
No worries, Weaver. Up front, it's Jacob Smetana's show. You see 2, 3 wide action, them fanning out there through that flat turns 1 and 2. Randall Coleman's trying to work to find a way around Sean Romero as Peter Smetana to the inside of Carroll in the 1. 1 car into the outside wall off of turn number 4. Going to try to keep it going, but going to lose a lot of momentum. Coleman going to get trapped behind that Trackhouse Racing number 1. Jovan Anderson now to the inside. Coleman using that ultra high line as Billy Ryan goes even higher through turns 1 and 2 further on back.
Denny Carroll with a pretty strong impact with the outside wall there coming out of turn 4. Saw how much time it cost him on track.
Up front, Lovell now to the inside of Toby Roberson. Roberson falling back here, gonna try to slot into this 5th spot, try to get down behind this 088, or at least that's what I would do, as here comes Peter Smetana to complete the Smetana 1-2. Would you call it a 2-step?
I think it would be very fitting.
Roberson, of course, won at Atlanta earlier this year. There's rumblings that this track will get turned into another Atlanta. We'll talk about that as the show goes on if we get the opportunity, as now we're going to be 3 wide off of turn number 2.
Ooh, Joe, the way that car unloads off of 2 gets real sketchy, especially when you go 3 wide like that.
I was going to say, how troubling is that as a driver when it's because coming off of turn 2 is just very unpredictable here at Texas now with this reprofiling of turns 1 and 2.
Well, Joe, even before they reprofiled this track, turn 2 was always a very sketchy corner. It's almost like that wall starts coming in at you really quickly on corner exit. And like you said, it just kind of got a little worse. You're coming out of it at a worse angle, coming way low, running that yellow line all the way up into the wall. Can definitely get hairy at times.
Drivers on it need to start taking note. Randall Coleman using the outside all the way around this track right now, running up in that second groove, doing it efficiently. John Foreman in the 70 following this 9 cars. Now Malin gets behind the Tire Pros Chevrolet of Coleman down the back straightaway.
Seems like some drivers can use that outside a little better than some others. Notice with
we've seen Roberson in the 64 fall back in that outside line, right? Sean Romero also in this 71. It really looks like the 9 car is able to be the most efficient up there, and you're starting to see these leaders shift up the track a little bit.
Yeah, Jonah, I think it might also be something with tires too here.
Big bump from the 70. Sorry, we were to cut you off. Into the back of the 81, into the back of the 9. Almost a big one there down the back straightaway.
All good, Joe. What you got to do when this racing is so close here at Texas like that. And 2 wide for second place here. Randall Coleman working that outside still.
Field comes screaming off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. You just see the variety of lines through there. The track doesn't really set you up to have that many choices as these drivers are taking advantage of tonight, but nonetheless, we're seeing these cars start to spread out a little bit in the corners, which is very promising for the rest of the evening. Coleman now up to second, Mellon up to third.
I think the difference that I'm seeing here is Randall Coleman is able to really turn that car down on corner exit. He ends up running similar lines on exit as the 42 in front of him. Other drivers I'm seeing running that high side really washing up on corner exit and losing that advantage they'd be getting. See there, big wash up.
Oh, car on the outside wall. It's good past her in the 33. First caution of the night going to be out 33, Jeffrey Goodpaster. And the Monster Energy Ford around and into the outside wall. Take a look at it. The contact, I believe, is that the 03 of James Moore?
Yes, Joe, 03 of James Moore, just slowly coming up the track, and there was no more room to give there for 33. Ends up going around there in turn 2.
See from the helicopter cam high atop the speedway, yeah, the 03 just drifting up in the corner. Makes contact with the left rear. That was definitely that. We've seen a couple of those hits today, haven't we?
Yeah, Joe, when you get sideways like that in these corners, you're carrying such high speed. These corners are real tight. You're going to come up on that outside wall quickly, usually at a pretty bad angle. Not a lot of takers on pit road here.
Are you surprised?
Not really.
It sounded like I was questioning you. I wasn't trying to.
No, I definitely understand. Not
Yeah.
totally surprised. I might have expected more of maybe a split field, but still early. Got to keep in mind we have the tire limits here at FAST.
Yes. A means to help cut virtual costs for these drivers.
Yeah, it just adds another layer of strategy into it. You know, you run some places you don't have that rule. Anytime there's a yellow, you're going to come down and get the fresh tires. You know, why not? There's nothing stopping you. In real life, we do see a tire limit that these teams have to think about, and gives them something to strategize around.
Working our first caution of the night, folks. Would like to remind you we got some great races coming up here on JTN later on this week. Thursday, we're at Talladega. The Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series takes to the track. 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday. Then it's the Maverick Cup Series. Enters their last 2 weeks of the season from Rockingham, October 4th. And then October 6th, the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from Charlotte at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Those races and much, much more live right here only on JTN. So I hinted at it, and I see it in chat. Alan saying that not going to like it if they turn it into a super speedway. Stig's saying the same thing. Hopes they turn it back to the original configuration. What's your fix for the Texas Motor Speedway as it currently sits, considering they also have a date with IndyCar?
You know, Joe, I'm not too sure. Tell you one big thing I wouldn't mind seeing leave would be the quad oval. Not a big fan of the quad oval designs. Really though, I would hope they could maybe just bring it back to kind of what it was, just a irregular 1.5 mile cookie cutter.
Which really, now that Atlanta's been reconfigured into the way with the banking the way it is there, the cookie cutters aren't really cookie cutters anymore, right? So I think it's definitely a good shout. The idea that we had so many tracks that were similar is starting to go away with the changes that have been implemented to the NASCAR schedule as well. So you gotta do something, right? I don't think you can leave it the way it is. You gotta do something, but maybe you don't have to try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, I honestly, I wouldn't even mind just seeing them maybe take a grader to the surface and really, you know, take a couple inches off, get that stickum that they put down on that has never gone away, get rid of that.
Yep.
Maybe see what happens then, because I think that was a real big mistake and a real big problem that Texas has faced for since the repave, honestly.
They just it's like when you break something and you're trying to put it back together and you keep thinking, no, if I put more glue on it, obviously that'll make it stick better.
Yeah, I think not enough real life testing was put in for what they did here.
Nonetheless, we get ready to go back racing. We're going to have a good one tonight. We're having a good one so far. Smetana with control for the restart. Pole sitter on the bottom. Randall Coleman started all the way back in the 10th spot. There in second. Foreman around into the grass. We're back green.
Big wheel spin from just about the whole field there. Saw John Foreman getting the worst of it, spinning out down to the inside. No yellow. Very unfortunate for that 70 car.
Get a replay when we get singled out. Saw their side-by-side racing. Now you got Carroll to the inside of Roberson. Roberson continues to fall back here in the early stages of this race. Alex Moe making up some ground. Started back there in the 18th spot to the inside of the 64 now, up inside the top 10. Matt Watkins, who started shotgun on the field as well, is making his way up in that 15, that black and red car that you see, that Toyota there on the bottom. I don't think these drivers are going to settle down, Weaver.
No, Toby Roberson really stuck on the outside. Then you look back up towards the front. Looks like the battle is on for second place. Randall Coleman looking to the inside
car
of
to the
Tyler
outside
Mellon.
wall. It's James Moore. Tyler Stahl hit around in his Accord, or Civic rather. So Weaver, again, I'm cutting you off, but another wreck.
I'm just, the timing's off of when I'm trying to speak. They want to get excited when I'm speaking.
So your replay 03 going to get loose there on the bottom all by his lonesome.
A real good job there for most of the drivers back there avoiding. Car bounces off the wall, collects Tyler's stall hood. Really know where he could go there.
And not the start you're looking for if you're James Moore, right? You're already 2 points outside, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you're competing with 3 other drivers that started the night 2 points out, as well as all the drivers in front of you. So not the start they're looking for with this 03 team.
No, not at all. Now you just added some damage to that car. It's really not going to help anything if you already had an ill-handling car.
Let's go on board with the 68 Joshua Moyers here through turns 1 and 2. Get you a good look at the wreck. Good wreck avoidance here from Moyers. See that 03 coming up. Lets off. Lets him go. Back to that restart. Saw the 70. John Foreman go for a spin. Another look at it. This was on the restart. Second blue car on the inside line. A lot of wheel spin just into the grass. I have done that my fair share of times. But Foreman around here at the front of the field will lose a lot of track position.
I'll tell you what played a big part in that, Joe, and something that these drivers are going to have to think about now with the yellow. We've seen some drivers stay out here, choose not to pit. I would bet anything that a lot that attributed to that wheel spin was the cold tires. When we're out here pacing, those tires are cooling down the whole time. On a restart, after you get fresh tires, they're still going to be warm. They put them on the car a little warmer. You got less time for them to cool down, so that was probably the coolest the tires have ever been on that restart for these drivers.
What do you think's more at fault today for the race we saw with the NASCAR Cup Series? The car or the track?
Well, Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't able to watch most of the race.
But you did. I know you got to see that last, like, 50 or so laps.
Yeah, and, I mean, it kind of goes back to that talk we had earlier. I'm really not a fan of the stickum that is still incorporated into the track, and I think it doesn't react well with tires. We've seen it real bad when IndyCar came here. It was a little bit better this year, but in times past, they couldn't even think about going in that area where it was laid down. They were really confined to the single low groove, just for how risky it was to go up there and just spin out. You lose all grip. I think we're starting to see that in the NASCAR side of things.
Bulldoze it, you know? Get the dozers out.
Or even just a big scraper. Just get rid of it.
Just a big scraper.
Just take the asphalt down a good inch and a half. Maybe add a sealant on it or something. I don't know. I'm not a paver, but something's got to be done.
Don't put sealer down on it. Whatever you do, don't do that.
You never know. Maybe they got a new sealer. See, things change, Joe.
I like the idea of getting some road graders out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta do
think
something.
It has to be resurfaced no matter what. The surface that the track is now, whether they reconfigure it and that's how they choose to resurface, or they grind it down, either one, something has to be done.
Well, something's about to be done here on the restart. Smetana on the bottom, Aliara to the outside, Sean Romero, Tyler Mallon, first car off a pit lane on new tires. Romero pit under the last caution, which I believe was about 3 laps. About 3 laps of green there that last run. Smetana still has not come down the pit lane. Our pole sitter in the 42. You got tire limits here, so you gotta manage them tonight as the Toyota Camry pace car comes down the pit lane. Smetana with control. Into the restart zone we'll go. Great flag. We're back underway.
Get a lot smoother restart out of these drivers that time. Most of them on fresh tires.
Top 3 already single file. Coleman now to the inside of Tyler Mallon. You see shifting up into 4th midway through turns 1 and 2. You see those cars kind of bog down into the racetrack. One of the beauties of NR 2003. Liara looking to the outside of Smetana, trying to get that outside line rolling. Gets there, coming off of turn number 4, but going to lose a little momentum.
Very interesting there, Joe. You mentioned the tire limits, but that restart there coming on lap 23. You get about 34 laps of fuel here. You got to think that might have been a good place to pit, but maybe the tire wear just isn't there. Thought it was better to have the track position.
Battle for second is on. Liara has taken over the lead. Allie doing a good job tonight. Tyler Mallon now up into second, and Randall Coleman looking for third. I think the new tires are starting to wreak havoc there on the 42.
Yeah, they are. Him and Sean Romero down low, losing spots. There's a freight train coming by on the outside. Randall Coleman, in the meantime, makes the pass for second on Tyler Mallon.
Does it on the bottom. Was so successful on the outside line that first green flag run. Now getting it done on the bottom. Coleman now the highest running playoff driver. Playoff drivers marked by the red windshield banners for folks at home just tuning in.
Randall taking a peek down low, not quite there on Alley yet.
It's like pick your poison right now as we're getting ready to go 3 wide for third.
2, turn 1, big wreck.
Cody Luke involved, or Billy Ryan, Carroll in the 1. Third caution of the night. Pace car just drove through Cody Luke, and I got really scared. Yeah, this one kicks off.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the 11 and 1, they go around simultaneously.
I think there was some contact there going into turn 1. Looks like the 11 checked up, I believe, and Denny Carroll reacting to that, couldn't get it slowed down in time.
Phil Parker getting some damage there too in the 26 at Ally Ford. What a big wreck here in the corner. Just these hits to the outside wall here at Texas, they're so violent too.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that you have so much room to wash up in the corner before you get to that wall. It's almost like you sort of pick up speed.
On board with Phil Parker here in the 26. Like gets on the brakes and it kind of causes the car to go to the outside. Let's takers on the pit lane. Smetana finally comes down the 42, but has lost all the track position. Most of the field, though, staying out. Liara still your leader in the 16. Welcome in Benjamin Snyder in chat.
Loses the track position currently, but I think it is a big break there. Not having to make that pit stop under green.
16 car now coming down the pit lane. Surrenders the lead. So Randall Coleman is your leader. Folks, I'd like to remind you, you can head on over now to the JTN merch store and get yourself some JTN race car merch. Available on t-shirts, hoodies. We got some stickers as well. And it's JTN race car merch now available on the JTN merch store. You can find the link for that in the video description below. Or it'll be added to the shopping bar right here on YouTube for your convenience. Again, that's JTN race car merch now available on the JTN merch store. 2 variants there. Good looking merch. Go check it out. I never know. Am I allowed to buy my own merch?
Of course. Why wouldn't you? I think if you're referring to the superstition behind wearing your own merch, I think it'd be a more so personalized. I'm wearing my shirt right now, though.
Oh, you got some Joseph Weaver merch up there, don't we?
Got a couple of real good looking shirts there. Real comfortable shirt. I like this blue one.
Also got it pinned at the top of the chat now. We're in a second. Taking its time. Again, folks, we're so happy you're joining us here tonight on JTN. FAST Renegade Cup Series opening race of the round of 12 standings looked like this coming into tonight. Jacob Smetana in the 42 feeling pretty comfortable at 28 points to the good. Joshua Moyers, Randall Coleman both still in the double digits. Coleman at plus 10, Moyers at plus 17. Matt Watkins, Tyler Mallon both at plus 9. Then it gets a little sketchy. Greg Lovell, 3 to the good. Sean Whitehill, Toby Roberson, both 2 to the good. And then 4 drivers tied at the bottom of the standings. Sean Romero, Cody Luke, Oscar Ramos, and James Moore. James Moore has already been involved in 2 incidents here tonight in the 0-3. Cody Luke involved in our latest incident. So already some of these playoff drivers having issues here early in the round of 12, Weaver.
Yeah, Joe, and we were just talking about that before the race. You don't want to dig yourself a hole going into this round. After tonight, you got Talladega and Charlotte Road Course coming up, 2 very tough tracks to get out of a hole.
And it's not even just that's those 2 tracks. We've seen all year long. It's been very close here in the FAST Cup Series. These next-gen cars, fixed setups, a lot of things brewing. We changed physics between weeks, between CTS and Cup physics, depending on what track we're at. So a lot of things kind of shake up the way that this year has gone with the FAST Cup Series and have provided for some very great racing. Very good racing. Why did I say great? I mean, it's great racing, but very... You know what I mean. Not an English major. Not communication one either, apparently.
It's alright, Joe. Nobody's perfect.
Why not?
I don't think you'd even want to be perfect, honestly.
A good that'll be a good JTN philosophy class. Do you want to be perfect?
That sounds like a think piece there.
Huh?
That sounds like a think piece there.
It does.
Only think piece these drivers are worrying about now is the green flag that's about to drop.
Good tie-in.
Lights on the pace car are out.
Professionalism at its finest up here in the booth tonight. Mr. Joseph Weaver. Randall Coleman leading us back to green. Toyota Camry pace car comes down the pit lane. Fans on their feet. Into the Geico restart zone we go, and we're back underway here in Texas. Not the best of restart for Coleman on the bottom. Joe Van Anderson able to pull even, heading down in turns 1 and 2. They're going to be side by side for the lead. Coleman on the bottom, drifting up the track. That car doesn't look too comfortable. Coming off of turn number 2, Joe Van Anderson going to be able to maintain there on the outside. No. Randall Coleman able to clear for the lead if there's a crash down the back.
We got a big wreck in turn 2.
Smetana involved in the 42. And it's your pole sitter and points leader. See how this one kicked off. John Foreman getting a little loose. Does he get help? Let's look. Oh, got loose. I think the 42 checks up.
Yeah, Foreman getting loose, causing a check up there. Cody Luke into the back of Jacob Smetana. Just things like that happen so quickly out there on the track. It's hard to have everybody react the same way at the same time. Heavy damage to that 42 rear end, all crumpled in. Billy Ryan in the 11 with some heavy rear end damage on that incident as well. You said it though, Joe, that 42 Jacob Smetana, our pole sitter, led a lot of laps already. Stayed out on our third yellow of the evening. Had to come back down on the 4th after the majority of the field had pit on the previous caution. Lost a lot of track position. Ends up in a wreck here.
We're only just now working our 4th yellow. It's a 3rd yellow. Now on the 4th, coming down pit lane again to repair some of the damage there on the 42. For the sake of being correct, right?
Correct, Joe. I believe that would have been the second one, the second yellow that we've seen most of the field pit. 42 stayed out then.
Should be able to go back green here before the end of the stage. And ending on lap 40. Award some points to these playoff drivers. No Coleman in the 9, going to want some of them. Tyler Mallon, Greg Lovell, Matt Watkins, Toby Roberson. Those are kind of your top 5 playoff drivers right now. Joe Van Anderson trying to play spoiler in the 93. Our JTN logo merch, it's now available as well on the JTN merch store. Again, you can check that out. Link down in the video description below. We got t-shirts, hoodies to keep you warm as the fall is coming. I know it's going to be about 57, 60 degrees tomorrow. 57 for Tommy Bordeaux here in the Mitten State. It's getting chilly. Get some warm clothes. Make it some JTN clothes. Again, JTN merch store. Link in the video description below.
Joe, we got anything for a windbreaker, maybe a rain jacket?
We don't.
Oh man, this might come in handy here soon for me.
You like the Hurricanes, though, don't you?
I'm a big fan, and I'm glad. Obviously, not hoping for anybody to be displaced or injured or even worse, but I like the weather.
Was that even worse? Do you care to elaborate?
I would not like people to die. Trying to keep it, not so gruesome, Joe.
I know.
See, people, I try to be a good guy, keep it clean.
Like
Joe,
to poke and prod,
Yeah. Joe wants everybody to be hit with the sad case of reality.
Yep. That's what we live in, man. Reality sometimes isn't cracked isn't what it's cracked out to be. Kenny Chesney words got tied up in my head, you know?
Gonna be a mad dash here to the stage break.
Put Weaver in that box, says Davey. What Davey's tuning in?
Put me in the box.
I don't know. That's what he's saying.
The beatbox?
Can you beatbox?
I cannot beatbox.
Ah, can you rap if I beatbox?
I don't have. I ain't got the breath capacity for rap.
Ah. What about a spoken word poem?
That's too corny for me. I don't do that on principle.
The race cars go around the track. And I'm gonna break my back.
That rhyme was a little whack.
Don't worry, you're about to get sacked. You want to do
Folks, I'm glad
awkward
you all enjoyed the most awkward moment ever on JTN. Hope you're ready to get back green flag racing here at Texas.
I was kind of hoping you'd stay quiet until we went back green, because I was just going to stay quiet. It was going to be great. Getting ready to go back. Randall Coleman with control here for the restart. Let's do our job. Green flag. We're back underway. Let's get back to the racing action. Side by side, still battling for the lead here down the back straightaway. Coleman on the bottom. Jovan Anderson outside. Tyler Mallon going to be closer to the 9. Going to be able to give that car a little bit of a push. There behind. Mallon slipping up the track in that Intel Toyota a little bit. Side by side drag race to the line. Give it to the 93 that time. Coleman still fighting hard on the bottom. We know he likes the outside line a little bit more than that inside line. Drifting up the track. Car getting loose there through the corner.
You can tell he likes that outside line. Going to settle into second place here after a tough 1 and 2 from Randall Coleman. Going to be interesting to see if he can get up to that outside line. I'm sure Jovan knows that he prefers that line. 93 able to pull a little bit of a lead here.
And Tyler Mallon all over the back bumper of the 9 car for second place. Further on back, Joshua Moyers to the inside of Toby Roberson for position. That's important again. Playoff drivers battling here at the front of the field. At 68 feels a little more confident in their standing coming into tonight's race, but nonetheless still wants to push for some points. Now looking to the inside of Alex Moe.
Tell you what, we haven't said his name much tonight. Joshua Moyers finding his way to the front, starting in the back. Back towards the front of the field, though, Randall Coleman able to hunt down that 93, starting to look to that outside again.
Anderson doing a good job holding the bottom right now in that Toyota. For single file throughout the rest of the field.
Oh, we have a yellow caution. Oh, hard
my
hit
goodness.
for the 11.
I'm not laughing, you're laughing. Weirdo. Ugh. It's not as bad as you think. Oh my goodness. So 70 and 26, that's John Foreman, Phil Parker.
Look like a little bit of a difference in opinion on when to turn into the corner there.
Yeah, I think the 26 is trying to come back up in line behind the 70, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think John Foreman maybe started his entry to the corner there.
A good camera angle from down here. Ugh. Good time to make a pit stop? Maybe not. Maybe so. Split decisions at the front of the field. Randall Coleman, only one of our leaders to come down. Jovan Anderson, Tyler Malin, Greg Lovell, Matt Watkins, Alex Moe, Joshua Moyers all staying out. Toby Roberson as well. Jacob Smetana is what in the 42 Hooters Ford. Mixed opinions at the front of the field.
Yeah, Randall Coleman there trying to, looks like, go a little off sequence here. Felt like that one might be a little early to hit, but see what kind of advancements that 9 car can make here on these 4 fresh tires.
It's kind of, it fits it within that 20 laps that they went at the start of the race, right? Now going 20 or so laps here. Interesting to see how, the tire strategy works throughout the night. Folks, we got some great races coming up for you here on JTN, presented by our friends at TWB Technologies. Next time we are live is going to be with the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series this Thursday night from the Talladega Super Speedway. You're not going to want to miss that one. Coverage kicking off at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. After that, we're back with the Maverick Cup Series on October the 4th from Rockingham. Coverage beginning 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And 2 nights later, Thursday, October 6th, Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coverage, of course, beginning there 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And all those races can be found right here live on JTN. They're only on JTN, folks. You can't get these races anywhere else. That's why you got to make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell icon to get notified every time we go live. Click like on the videos. Do all those things. We'll pop up. The more you like our videos, the more we'll pop up in your feed. It's a little dangerous me saying that because there might be some folks tuning in that maybe don't like us. That's okay. But the more you click the like on the video, it helps support us here on JTN. It gets our streams out to folks. We always encourage, if you feel so kind to do so, be a friend, tell a friend, share our streams with people, share our social media at JoeTowNetwork. Doing all those things does a lot to help support us behind the scenes, helps with making improvements on the back end of things, make these broadcasts even better for you fans at home, for the drivers in our leagues, and hopefully it continues to give these folks a great place to race, a great way to showcase their talents, their leagues, whatever they're looking for. We always like to provide it here on JTN, and the only way we can do that, of course, is with all the support we've gotten. So we can't thank you enough for that. We'd appreciate it, too, if you can continue to go that extra mile. We always appreciate it by sharing the streams. Got some door banging here at the front of the field. You a fan of that, Weaver?
Yeah, have a little fun with it.
Had a little fun like they did in Kansas on Saturday against Duke. They packed the booth.
I think a lot of people had some fun this weekend. There were some big games.
I didn't. College football is so much fun, though. I think if you're not a football fan, you can be a college football fan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, get back. Ready to go racing here from Texas. Going to be coming back green 48 of 117. That leaves us, folks, with 70 laps to go here. I had to do the quick math in my head. Sorry for the delay. I'm not a robot. 70 laps to go for the Texas Motor Speedway. Jovan Anderson going to be leading us back to green in the 93.
seen these past few restarts, Joe and Anderson real strong on that outside, on the inside for this restart.
The Camry pace car comes down the pit lane. Anderson with control on the bottom. Green flag. We're back underway. Once again, outside line, a little more formed up as well. Top 4 there, all in line working together. Now only top 3 is Smetana. Missing the back end of that 42 car. Drops to the bottom. Jovan Anderson, though, able to clear Malin for the lead.
Shows you just how good that 42 car is. Heavy damage on the rear end. Still up here fighting.
Tyler Malin now moves to the bottom of Jovan Anderson. Battle for the lead. Going to be side by side here through turns 3 and 4. Coming off of turn 4. Still going to be battling to the line. Anderson able to use the momentum on that outer line through 3 and 4 to keep the lead. Now heads back down into 1 and 2, where that 93 is going to slide up the track a little bit. Going to get real tight here off the corner, but Malin going to have to concede the spot and fall into second place.
Jovan able to clear here, solely in possession of first place. We'll be looking to try and put a gap on Tyler Malin in second.
Matt Watkins up into third. Malin looking to the outside now of Anderson. Going to get there going down into turns 1 and 2. Going to have a strong run through this first set of corners to set up a big run down the back straightaway.
He tried the inside, now trying the outside. Tyler Malin even with Jovan Anderson for first.
Still going to be side by side through the center of the corner, but give it to Tyler Malin. Off of turn 4 will lead that lap in the 81. Going to try to complete the pass. Still can't get it. Now just clear of Jovan Anderson heading down through the centers of 1 and 2.
Now Matt Watkins to the outside for second place. Took a peek there.
Little log jam now behind that 93. Anderson going to have to try to get the momentum back up on that car. Momentum very important here at this version of Texas. I think it goes unnoticed.
So,
Joshua Moyer's
good pass. Oh, big wreck.
John Romero involved.
33 of good passer up and over. Romero on his lid.
Look at it. .33 going to get loose down here in the corner.
It's loose on corner entry. Starts that long slide up the track, hoping you don't get collected, and Sean Romero nowhere to go.
We've seen the same wreck a couple times tonight now, haven't we?
Yeah, very common, especially down here in 1 and 2. I think all of our, maybe all but one, I think we're here in 1 and 2. Been a trouble corner.
The leaders coming down the pit lane. Everyone electing to come down. Even Randall Coleman in the 9. Interesting call there from the 9 car to come back down after just pitting under the last yellow. Race off pit lane. Smetana gonna win it. Tyler Stallhood second. Tyler Malin third. James Moore and Matt Watkins, your top 5 off the pit lane, folks. I'm gonna step away from a second and get a word from one of our sponsors. AutoSim 2.
Today we're doing AutoSim.
AutoSim.
We are trying out AutoSim.
Yay, it's AutoSim.
And folks, AutoSim's early access demo now available by subscribing to the AutoSim Patreon. That link available on the AutoSim trailer video right here on the main JTN YouTube page. Demo for the public, I do believe, is coming later on this week. There's some differences there. When you become a Patreon supporter, your demo lasts for 30 years compared to 10 years. Patreon supporters get sim and owner mode. I think we're still working out the details on if you're going to get both modes with the free demo. So, again, we appreciate all your support of AutoSim as well. AutoSim 2 coming this winter. Big AutoSim fan, Weaver?
You know, I've never played it myself, but I have seen a few people mess around with it. It did look like it was a good time. Definitely looked like it was doing everything intended.
Be crazy, wacky, and wild. That's the intent. But again, that's going to be available this fall. It's a team manager game for motorsports. It's great. It's a great little fun time if you just want to kick back, relax, text-based, so it's nice and simple for folks. Again, that's AutoSim 2 available later on this year. All right, coming back green on lap 57 of 117. Denny Carroll with control here for the restart in the one. Green flag, we're back underway. Smetana with a good restart on the bottom, able to snag the lead before we head into turn one. Oh, no!
Oh, hard.
Two cars up the racetrack. That's Peter Smetana, Alex Moe. Caution going to be out here. What happened this time? Well, that 048 just takes off.
I'm hearing on the radio here there was a issue with the 048 Alex Moe's game there. The game freezing issue there. And I was gonna say that's kind of what it looked like. Lost control of the car, just started driving straight up. You hear the gas cut out in that vehicle.
The realities of sim racing, right? Games crashing.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen all the time. It happens to everybody at least once.
You see it on broadcast, right? Alright, well, I brought up college football because it's obviously pretty big here in the state of Texas. I had a story, Weaver, and then I lost it.
Yeah, I assume you.
Yeah.
I thought you were searching for it there.
Yeah, I'm shuffling through my papers. Yeah, they're pretty loud sometimes, especially on Sunday nights, aren't they?
Alright, we got a big sleep coming in lane.
A big sleep?
Big sleep.
I wish. College football. Hook 'em horns down this weekend. That was a pretty big upset there with Texas Tech beating the Longhorns at Tech. I forget what city they're in. What else did we have this weekend? JMU remains undefeated, but they beat Appalachian State. Tennessee remains undefeated. They beat Florida. Florida did cover the spread, though, for all of my sports gamblers out there. Oh, we had the Oink Doink in Dallas. Did you see that?
I saw a clip of that. I did. And very interesting.
Also, what else?
Kansas State.
Yeah, K-State
going to
beating
Norman,
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Getting it done.
Whew. Maybe
Not very.
Adrian
not very
Martinez wasn't
unusual
that
for
bad.
team. Yeah, not very unusual for Kansas State to get that upset. It was a very highly contested rivalry.
I think they won last year in Manhattan, right?
The year before, I believe.
That would have been down in Norman.
Yeah, I think that they've had back-to-back wins in Norman now.
Okay.
Or you might be right. I can't remember. It's
I thought
one or
they
the
won
other.
last year. I thought that was like the win that derailed Oklahoma, and then they lost to Okie State there at the end of the year. Oaks. Oregon State really tried out there in Corvallis to get the upset over USC, and 5-star's going to 5-star at the end of the game for USC, so that happened, right? Maryland gave Michigan a scare. That was not fun to be in the stands for that game most of the time.
Oregon squeaking one out against the Cougs.
Against Wazoo. College football is fun, folks. Watch college football. If you're not watching JTN, the point is go watch college football. Did your UCF Knights end up winning?
We did.
Okay. Who'd
It
y'all
was a
play?
game. Georgia Tech.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. Well, look at you
Win
beating
against
some
Georgia
ACC
Tech.
schools.
Yeah.
You ready for that Big 12 transition next year?
I hope so. I don't know. It's there's some things that I'd like to see done different.
Fair enough. Getting ready to go that green flag racing, coming to lap 62 of 117. We are working our 7th caution of the night. About to complete it here with Jacob Smetana in the lead. Toyota Camry pace car comes down the pit lane. Green flag, we're back underway. Matt Watkins to the inside of Tyler Mallon. That battle is over. Watkins able to take the spot. Now going to look for the lead down the back straightaway, heading down into turn 3.
Big run on the bottom there for Watkins. Joe and Anderson close in tow. See now Greg Lavelle joining that bottom line that's chugging along on that bottom.
Lovell having a good run tonight in that 088 Texaco car. We're, of course, very familiar with that livery. Sees up into 3rd. Tyler Mallon now 4th. Joshua Moyers looking to the inside of Smetana for 5th. Oh, car around at the back of the field. James Moore in the 03. You get a self-spin here, and then contact with the 43. Smetana was to the inside of Moore.
Just looked like James Moore there carried a little too much speed through that corner. Saw him wash up and get into that loose stuff up in that top line.
How, when you look at incidents like that, I don't want you to, you know, you don't have to criticize, but how much of that do you look at as maybe a driver? I don't know if in over their head sounds really bad, but is it just that misjudgment, you think? Just that, hey, I'm trying to make up some time. I'm trying to. Obviously, James has a lot on the line tonight, being part of the playoffs. How do you, like, when you're behind the wheel and you see that? How do you call it? How do you call a spade a spade?
I think it could be a misjudgment, or it could just be a simple mistake there. You know, you're driving hard in that corner, and it isn't that hard to really push it that little extra bit where those tires really quit working like you want them to work.
I think that's important to differentiate for the folks at home, because you'll see in some of these races where you'll see guys make mistakes, and then you'll see someone else make a mistake that's similar, and a lot of that comes down to you don't know what you don't know. I think that was the first time we've seen James go into that corner with a car there on his left, to that left rear quarter, so you know, you get put in that situation, you learn from it, and you keep on keeping on, right?
Yeah, especially if you're out here racing for a championship, you really got to put those small incidents like that behind you and get back at the goal at hand.
Goal at hand for your Green Bay Packers remains to win another Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. How'd you feel about the game today?
I felt like the defense has been doing what it's did the past last season and stepping up, playing a good game. Well, I like the offensive work. You know, Buccaneers got a pretty stellar defense themselves, so coming down to Florida, getting a win is huge for that team. Rarely do it, especially in these early few games.
I believe you were at one of those Florida games last year, weren't you?
Sadly enough, I was, and it was not a very fun time.
I think the Packers just don't play week one is what it is, right?
I'm starting to think, you know, theory, if you're out there and you're an undefeated team, that's a lot of pressure. You know, you're getting a lot of media, a lot of eyes on you if you're undefeated. If we just go out there, you know, maybe just throw the first game, you don't have all those eyes on you. You don't have a chance to go undefeated.
It's hard to be at the top.
Well, and then we come back to the top. You know, we get there eventually. It's just maybe we've given ourselves a little handicap. You know, we feel bad for everybody else.
What do you think of retaliating on pit road?
I think that's a very questionable call. Not quite sure what you're alluding to with that, but I'm definitely not a fan of that.
I got you. Hold on. We'll do what I know the NBC folks do in the booth during the races, because Dale Jr. has said as much, so I don't feel too unprofessional doing this. Big congrats goes out to Justin Haley for a strong run today. Don't want to spoil too much about the race, but big congrats to Justin Haley. It'll probably be an overlooked finish when things are all said and done. Not overlooking the finish of this one. We're just past halfway here in Texas. Matt Watkins going to have control for the restart. Jovan Anderson, Greg Lovell, Tyler Mallon, Joshua Moyer is your top 5 here for the restart. That's Jacob Smetana there in 6th without the back end on the race car. Toby Roberson, Sean Whitehill up inside the top 10 now. Randall Coleman and Billy Ryan in the number 11. That rounds out your top 10. The 11 car in 10th here for the restart. The Camry pace car comes down the pit lane. We are ready to go back racing. Watkins with control. Back away we go. Green flag once again here from Texas. Joe Anderson all over the back bumper of the 15, getting loose there, coming off the corner. No air on the nose of that 93, still pushing him down the back straightaway into turn 3.
Tight race here for our top 4 competitors. Put them under a blanket. Watkins leads them. Joe and Anderson in second. Tyler Mellon in third by half a car. Now he clears Greg Lavelle for third. Back to the outside.
Oh, we got cars to the outside wall. Smetana around. Caution going to be out once again here, working lap 69. That's nice, but not so nice for the 42.
I think that might have been one of those cases, Joe, where the damage came into play. You're going to be losing a lot of downforce on the rear end there, and saw that 42 go around.
I believe that was the 16 of Liara. They got some damage there. Yeah, there you see it. Doesn't look too bad on the 16. You know, the rigidity of these next-gen cars really coming into play with these incidents tonight. Beaver just rolled his eyes at me. I could feel it. Working our 9th caution of the night. You think we can get to... You think we can beat the record?
I hope not.
It's not one you want to beat.
No,
it's not get it twisted. For the folks that are maybe scrolling by us, hello, welcome. I'm Joe Twansky, joined tonight by Mr. Joseph Weaver here. FAST Renegade Cup Series, opening race of the round of 12 in the playoffs. Race currently led by Matt Watkins. It's been a doozy of one so far. Working our 9th caution of the night. Can't thank you enough for tuning into JTN. If it's your first time, make sure, if you haven't already, drop a like and subscribe. That's the biggest thing to do. Help support us here on JTN. We got all kinds of great racing and our 2003, a little old school racing here on JTN, using the next gen mod from Full Circle Racing Designs tonight. But we got some great races coming up too later on this week, including Talladega with the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series there, September the 29th. Coverage beginning 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday. Then it's the Maverick Cup Series from Rockingham the following Tuesday, October 4th at 8:30. And the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time, October the 6th. Those races and much, much more live right here only on JTN. Be a friend, tell a friend.
If you're out here watching JTN having fun, why wouldn't you want your friends to have fun with you?
That's what I'm saying. That's what good friends do. They share JTN links. What, Who do you think is going to be the next head football coach at Nebraska?
I couldn't tell you, Joe.
I'm running out of topics on my show sheet, man. I don't want to talk too much about the race today. I know you didn't get the chance to watch.
I'll tell you what, Joe, that's one you're going to have to let me know beforehand so I can do a little bit of research. I know Nebraska's in need of a coach. That's about the length of my Nebraska knowledge goes.
You know, there's corn out there.
Yeah, what goes on in Husker Land stays in Husker Land in my mind.
All right, fair enough. I hope it's not Leopold at Kansas, because that would be pretty cool if Kansas ended up being like the new power in the Big 12. That'd be pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
It'd be hard for them to be the new power when UCF's going to be, but I agree maybe. Actually, I don't like Kansas.
Tate, that's very true. That is very true. If it better not be that guy. I got a good story about Urban Meyer if we really want to from the Fox Big Noon Kickoff show this past weekend. If we get the opportunity, we're not going to talk about it under green because we're about to go back green flag racing, and you're definitely not here to hear us talk about that. Matt Watkins going to have control here. Jovan Anderson, Tyler Mallon, Greg Lovell, Joshua Moyers, your top 5 for the restart, going to be coming on lap 74 of 117. Toyota Camry pace car comes down the pit lane. We are ready to go back racing. Watkins with control. Green flag. We're back underway.
Pair of Camrys taking the green flag on that front row. Battling side by side here through turns 1 and 2. Give Watkins the slight advantage out of turn 2.
Watkins going to have the lead down the back straightaway. Anderson screaming, though, on the outside. Momentum goes with the 93. Watkins, though, able to clear off of turn number 4. Takes control of the lead here at the line. Anderson dives back to the inside. Tried to cross over. Didn't have enough momentum heading down to the corner. Now Tyler Mallon got a challenge on the outside of the 93.
Oh, 93 washing up on exit there. Cutting off Tyler Mallon's line.
They're also side by side for the 4th position right now. Joshua Moyers on the bottom to the inside of Greg Lovell. As Mallon now fighting with Jovan Anderson for 2nd.
Look back there in the 6th position. Haven't seen much of him lately. Randall Coleman has worked his way back through this field. At 9 cars strong, he wants to get back up to the lead here and get a win at Texas.
And how many times have we heard Randall Coleman say, just wait till Texas? Well, Randall, we're at Texas. Show us what you're talking about in that 9-tire Pro Chevy.
Side by side now with Jovan Anderson looking for 4th position. He's making that outside work better than anybody that we've seen tonight.
Battle for the lead. Mallon to the outside of Watkins for this top spot. Intel versus Funko Pop. You can't get into too much different industries there. Side by side, Mallon going to leave that lap in the 81.
Well, these drivers driving side by side for the lead is letting everybody else catch up. You see Greg Lavelle now firm on that bumper of the 81.
Watkins going to dive now into line, so falls back to the 3rd spot, does Matt Watkins in the 15. As we're strung out single file here at the front of the field. We getting into that point of the run where the tires are equaling out. It's hard to make the passes.
I definitely think they're up to temp here now. Ooh. Tyler Stahl with a little contact with the wall, getting loose at the back of the field. Keeps it straight, though. But I think so, Joe, now we're going to start seeing these runs off the corner, see where drivers move and put their car to really get that advantage. Side by side for 5th place, Moyers on the inside. Anderson on the outside.
Jovan hanging tough right now in that 93 car. Attaboy out to Oscar Ramos in the 50. Haven't said his name so far tonight. Up inside the top 10, another one of our playoff drivers.
Matt Watkins is fighting there for second. Can't really get it done on that bottom line.
This is where it starts getting a little tricky, too, when the fight starts becoming for the top, isn't it?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of different lines. A lot of drivers still haven't given up on that bottom line. I think the top line's better, but I think it's a lot harder to run and get that really advantageous run off the corner.
Toby Roberson, big dives on the inside of Joshua Moyers as Matt Watkins up ahead is working on the 93 of Jovan Anderson for third.
Toby showing some speed tonight, started outside pole, kind of been mired in the mid-pack for most of this race, but finding his way back up towards the front as we get into the thick of it here.
Jovan gonna fall back to 5th, gonna fall back to 6th now as Moyers is to the outside in the 68. Randall Coleman trying to find a way to get to the outside of Matt Watkins. Couldn't get it done that time off of 4. Joshua Moyers still gonna be able to get to the outside of the 9 for a hot second.
It's really becoming the fight for the outside line now, Joe. These tires are starting to go away. A lot easier to hold that car in that outside line with speed.
The 50 car get heavy lick there to the outside wall in turn number 2. Off the corner. Keeps it going straight, though.
Something else these drivers got to think about. They are not good to make it on fuel. We still have 1 pit stop remaining. Probably still going to be a little while before we see that pit stop, but
Yeah, we're in the window right now.
oh yeah, you absolutely can make it from here. It would be interesting to see if anybody decides to short pit. Draft definitely playing a part here tonight.
You gotta have a couple friends do it with you, right?
Absolutely, we might see a team, a couple teammates. You see Randall Coleman, Joshua Moyers like to work a lot together here. They're running together. Maybe they decide to go off sequence.
I think that 68 has a rev sticker on it. Not going to be able to work together, though, side by side right now for the 4th spot.
No, I think until they make that call to pit, these two are going to be racing it out as the playoffs. Everybody's going to be giving it all they have. Moyers just couldn't get it done there on the bottom, so he's going to try the top. Gets the pass done quickly when he moves to the top of the track.
And that fight for the outside right now is the biggest one on track. You see the 33, a good passer, going to get dropped down, let everyone on by. Good etiquette there from the 33. See, Moyers now getting to the outside of Matt Watkins for 3rd. Impressive run right now for the 68 this fuel cycle.
Haven't really been able to see too many longer runs tonight. Haven't been able to see who's better, who falls on a long run. Definitely looks like that 68 is showing up here.
And closing in on our final pit cycle here from the Texas Motor Speedway, opening race of the round of 12 for the FAST Renegade Cup Series. Drivers with red name banners on the front of their cars, part of those playoffs, and right now you got 2 of them battling for the 2nd spot. Joshua Moyers on the bottom. Greg Lovell on the outside, battling behind Tyler Mallon, who currently holds the lead here at Texas. Moyers not getting anything done just yet on the bottom. Sean Romero coming off the pit lane in the 71, another one of our playoff drivers, as Moyers completes the pass that time through turns 1 and 2.
68 is driving real good right now. Joey's got his eyes set on the lead now. Been our hard charger since the drop of the last green flag.
Now the 68 and the 15 both started on the back row of the field, all the way back in row number 11, 21st and 22nd. They have both worked their way up inside the top 5.
So I'm making a hard charge there at the start of the run at 9 and Randall Coleman, losing some more spots here. I think that car would be one to look for going on a different strategy here.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on a different strategy all night. That's what kind of lost him his track position. Is Lovell going to come to pit lane? That was close.
Track gets real tight when somebody's using that lane to slow down and get to pit road.
A little too much too tight for comfort.
Very much so, Joe, and that really separated our field. We see a big gap behind second place, even bigger gap behind the 5th place car.
Matana working to the inside of Coleman. We're going to concede the spot. Starting to see now drivers getting to the bottom of the track, closing in on these pit stops.
Yeah, Joe closing in on 20 to go here. Come down, get your 4 fresh tires, get you gas to go to the end of the race. Probably still got a good bit of fuel if you're pitting right now in the tank, but maybe come in, undercut a little bit, get those fresh tires. See the 80 of Tyler Mallon coming down.
Toby Roberson coming down. Mallon really quick there at the line. Randall Coleman going to be really quick. A lot of drivers being really quick at the line.
Sean Whitehill also coming down here.
Gives the lead to Joshua Moyers in the 68. I think the rest of our leaders, you have to come down this time. You can't let them stay down there too long.
No, the more time you stay out there on old tires, the more time you're going to be giving up.
Oh no! Matt Watkins around, car heavy into the outside wall. We're still wrecking. And if you were Greg Lovell, you did not want to see that. If you're any of those drivers on pit lane, you didn't want to see that. Caution out here on lap 97. What did we just witness?
Like we said, it was tricky there getting down onto pit road. Really saw it there.
Matt Watkins goes around, see Smetana heavy into the outside wall, and then slowing down for, I think, was Billy Ryan in the 11 or Oscar Ramos in the 50. Someone got run over there on the outside, slowing down for that wreck.
Yeah, it looked like Oscar Ramos in the 50 there. He was slowing down to get onto pit road initially, but cut back up onto the track when the yellow came out. A couple drivers still at speed, not as slow. Making heavy contact there.
You see what happens here at the 15. I think what happens is he just kind of gets off balance. You see half on the bottom, half on the banking. You see that heavy hit.
You know, mentioned a tough break for Greg Lavelle. He was caught a lap down, so he's going to have to take the lucky dog here, start at the back. But those cars that were on pit road, caution came out, leaders were behind them at that time, able to come out and stay on the lead lap. Going to be able to get this track position all over those drivers that have yet to pit.
I don't know about that. Last time by Coleman in the 9. I think the 81 might have been able to, but I think the 9, the 12... I think they're going to have to be waved around here. Fake Racers Podcast has new episodes dropping weekly over on JTN2. We got the link to JTN2 down in the video description below. Every week, myself, Davey Hazard, Matthew Steelman talk about everything NASCAR. And that's the Fake Racers Podcast over on JTN2. Posted a clip from our Kyle Busch extravaganza episode over here on the main JTN page. A lot of folks watched that, so we appreciate that. Weaver and I were looking for some support maybe in a sports betting little, 20-minute weekly thing, maybe, I don't know. See where the market is. Gauge the market. Gauge the market. That's what all the good people do. Market might be a little oversaturated, though. But that's okay. We have fun, right, Weaver?
That's alright. What market isn't oversaturated?
This one that we're in, doing this right now. I would think. Although it's getting ready to be. Was I not supposed to say that?
I'm not too sure.
You went quiet on me. That was like one of those call and response types things. I'm Joe Towinski. Joseph Weaver joining me up here in the booth tonight. FAST Renegade Cup Series. We're going for 117 laps tonight. So just over 10 laps to go. Keith. Tyler Mallon going to be leading us back to green. Dick Smetana there to the inside. Battle here at the front of the field. A caution coming out in the middle of the green flag pit cycle has really shaken things up here. Again, as we get ready to go back green flag racing with 16 laps to go. Down and away, green flag, and Smetana with a good restart on the bottom of the 42, going to clear the 81.
Real good restart there for the 40, be able to put a little bit of gap on the 81 and Tyler Mallon. Toby Roberson in third place, John Foreman in fourth. Oh, contact! One is in the wall. Oh.
Crosses back down across the racetrack, then back up in front of the field.
Up, down goes Denny Carroll. Everybody avoiding him. He's still holding on to it here in turns 1 and 2.
Tyler Solid not happy right now in the 27. Back up front, Tyler Mallon has retaken the lead. Toby Roberson has moved up into the second position.
The speed is there in the motor of that 42 car, but the damage just like a parachute holding him back from being able to truly unlock all of it.
Matt Watkins is going to be all over the back bumper of the 42 here in a second.
I'll tell you. Oh, we got a caution on the track.
Well, this sets us up pretty, and one car slow down the back. Oh.
One of Denny Carroll getting loose down in turn 2. Ooh, close call there for Sean Whitehill.
Might have had some damage. Might have hit the wall there a little bit. That was a fantastic, terrible, no good, very bad restart for the one, wasn't it?
Very much so, Joe, and it didn't look like it ever recovered there. Well, Joe, we got some good news for you coming out of Sunday Night Football in Denver.
Uh-oh.
Dan Orlovsky, no longer alone. Jimmy G stepping out the back of the end zone for his safety on accident.
I don't know how that's good news for me.
Well, you know, it's no longer just a Lions thing, you know?
Fair enough.
One less fan base to make fun of the Lions.
Exactly. Ratting them up. Now, that game today, my heart was ripped out multiple times. Big props to Dan Campbell for taking all the blame on the loss. I feel like he should have, and the coaching staff should have, but nonetheless, the Lions are fun, man. I don't ever remember the Lions being fun.
Yeah, I mean, even a division rival, you know, I've grown a soft spot in my heart for that team. Love to see him do well. Love to see Dan Campbell do well. And man, the argument could be made, maybe learning to be a head coach in the NFL, maybe not the best idea, but I think he's rolled with the punches pretty well so far, and he might have got hit with a couple hard ones this week, but it's all a learning experience, and I think that's something that he will take away from it.
Hey, team still looks a heck of a lot better, and, you know, when you're only predicted 5 wins and it feels like you can get to 8, maybe, that's got to be a good feeling after 3 weeks.
Those wild cards are always open, too. Could be the year.
Oh, no. Did Jimmy G throw an interception, too?
That I could not tell you.
That Tate saying, and then threw an interception anyway, so 2 wrongs make a right? I don't... Is that Jared Goff slander, maybe?
Oh, no, I remember now, yes, on the play, he stepped out of bounds and then threw a pick afterwards, so... all in the same play.
Is the score... What was this?
7-5 at the moment.
Oh my god.
A little shout out to our very own Davey Hazard with 75.
Oh man. We should have a Sunday Night Football watch along.
You know me, I'd always be down.
Tyler Mallon's down to try to win this race tonight. Real quick, want to give a big attaboy. John Foreman, right now sitting in the 4th spot, the 70 team. Having a great run tonight. That Chevy Camaro. John, of course, attended the best university in the world. So attaboy to John running there in 4th right now.
Running in 4th, getting down to the thick of it. 10 laps to go. See those lights on the base car go out here.
Logan, I'm confused. Who is talking? I don't know if this is what you're looking for. It was myself, Joe Twansky, and Joseph Weaver up here in the booth. Unless that was slander for something I said. Nonetheless, it's our time for our TWB 10 to go, and we never slander the folks at TWB because they have been a great partner of ours. And they want to let you know that you should now head on over to GardenLightsDirect.com because from porches to patios to more, for all of your outdoor lighting needs, GardenLightsDirect.com has you covered. Again, that's GardenLightsDirect.com, GardenLightsDirect.com. GardenLightStrike.com here on your TWB 10 to go.
Perfect time to get some garden lights, get that backyard and patio set up for some fall time bonfires, maybe, what have you. Some cooler weather. It's time to go do things outside.
Get some lights, maybe string them up on your porch for the festive seasons coming up. How corporate America of me. All right, Tyler Mallon leading us back to green in the 81. Toby Roberson there in second. Jacob Smetana, John Foreman, Matt Watkins, your top five. There'll be 9 laps to go when we get the green flag. Can Tyler Mallon hold on for a victory here tonight? Green flag, we're back underway. Roberson loose on the outside, but gets a good enough jump anyways.
He was loose, I believe the 70. John Foreman there really led off to save an accident there. Held up that outside line. See Foreman up top.
Smetana and Roberson battling for the second spot. Tyler Mallon still out in front of the field, though. First battle side by side is now between Peter Smetana in the 43 and Matt Watkins now in the 15.
Toby Roberson taking a look on the inside here, side by side with Tyler Mallon going down into turn 1.
Battle for the lead. 64 got loose there through the corner. Still loose through the corner. Drifting up the track. Roberson, Mallon side by side as we head down the back. Tyler Mallon going to be able to get the run on the outside down the front straightaway. Roberson trying to stick tough. Going to have to drop back in line. 7 to go here from Texas.
It's tough fighting on that inside line. I really think it's more for if you have a run to make that quick pass. Oh, a little further back, Alex Moe getting loose, chasing it up the hill. See a gaggle of cars back there around the 7th position.
Jovan Anderson going to the way outside, trying to get to the right rear of the 42 car.
42's been through a lot tonight. To see him still up here battling for a top 5.
Matt Watkins looking to the inside at Roberson. Barely get there. Going to be really close coming off the corner.
Bacon of Pete just could not get that run on second place Toby Roberson. Toby got to look to the inside here through turns 1 and 2.
Tyler Mallon likes what's in the rear view. Watkins and Roberson now side by side for second.
Oh, the 50's around in turn 3 and 4.
Coming to the line, Mallon gonna get it. Watkins second. Drag race for third goes to Roberson in the 64, and folks, that just might end this race.
It might, Joey might get one lap, if anything, and all eyes on those pace car lights.
The 50 goes around. Tough to tell if there was contact with the 27. Look at it.
I think there was there, Joe, 27 Tyler Stallhood getting into the back of the 50 of Oscar Ramos.
Look at our helicopter cam. Yeah, I'd say that's contact. Now, we were talking about football. I don't think we were encouraging anyone to punt.
No, Joe, never want to see some punting on the racetrack.
Folks, that just might end it here tonight. Thank you, Tate. I work pretty hard on my commentary. So Tyler Mallon looks to be bringing home the victory with the 81 team. Matt Watkins there in second. Toby Roberson third. Jovan Anderson, Joshua Moyers, your top 5 here under caution. Where's level 5th? Nope, Moyers 5th.
And I think that is it. Joe would have needed the pace car lights to go off that time by. That being said, that will make it official that 81 Tyler Mallon will be our winner here tonight. Matt Watkins finishing second.
An interesting finish tonight to this race. An interesting race overall, right? Tonight, with that caution, it brings the total to 12. But we saw that long green flag run, and that's what you get a lot. Texas, of course, we saw it today with the NASCAR Cup Series. A very tough track in this configuration, especially turns 1 and 2, and I think that's really what bit these drivers tonight, Weaver.
Yeah, Joe, I think so as well. Just the high speeds that these corners bring out of these cars and these drivers, really sending it through, and very easy to make a mistake.
Nonetheless, Tyler Mallon going to take home the victory. Matt Watkins second, Toby Roberson third. We'll get a chance to talk with all of them on the podium. We'd like to remind you, if you want to follow along with the Fast Renegade Cup Series, you can head on over to our buddy Andrew's channel, Top Dragster. I believe he was in here a little bit ago, but Top Dragster here on YouTube. He's streaming pretty much the majority of all the races we haven't covered here on JTN, so if you want to keep up to date with the Renegade Cup Series schedule through this round of 12, through the round of 8, you can head on over to Andrew's channel. Would also like to remind you that we will be live for the championship finale here from Rockingham. Don't recall the date. First Sunday of November. 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on JTN for the championship finale, where we will decide the 2022 Fast Renegade Cup Series champion. And of course, the next time we're live is going to be Thursday night, Bomb Squad Racing. Off of turn number 4, a little more anticlimactic than the rest of the race. It's going to be Tyler Mallon in the Intel Toyota taking home the checkered flag here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Mallon wins here in Fort Worth.
Talked about early in the race, two stood there, finishing 7th and 8th respectively. Good run there for the 42 team after some early adversity with the damage.
Indeed. Congratulatory gestures there. James Moore runs into the 81. Now we're wrecking. Again, good thing these next-gen cars are tough. Well, good for the cars, at least. So, fans on their feet, they want one more show here tonight, coming around to the start-finish line. Burn it down. Tyler Mallon, race winner here tonight from Texas. Or don't. There we go. So Toyota 1, 2, 3, 4 here from Texas tonight. Malin takes it to victory lane. We'll be talking with driver 81 here shortly. Get the results on your screens momentarily. Talk with the rest of our podium and much, much more here in post-race. Again, folks, cannot thank you enough for tuning in to JTN tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. I think I've said it 100 times. Why not 101? But we always, as always, really appreciate your guys' support. Be a friend, tell a friend about our streams here on JTN. That goes such a long way. It's a free way to help support us. It's probably the best way to help support us is helping us get our name out there, and continuing to bring these races to more and more people. Again, results incoming, interviews with our top 3, and much, much more here in post race. This Weaver is where we need that little like buffer video that a lot of other channels get. So without further ado, let's send the folks at home to a YouTube commercial. All right, folks, results. This is what we call dead air, and it's not good in this business, but nonetheless, results on your screens. Now let's go ahead and start by bringing in our race winner, driver the number 81, Tyler Malin. Tyler, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Boy, howdy, what a victory tonight. How does it feel to win it at the No Limits Texas Motor Speedway?
It feels pretty good. I don't have to worry about a road course or whatever the next track is, Talladega. So
is that the biggest relief coming out of tonight?
Yeah,
I mean, just not having to worry about the next 2 weeks. You can take the next 2. Not take the next. Are you going to take the next 2 Sundays off, or do you now kind of push to try to? Do you push to try to win to get some more playoff points?
Yeah, why not? I'm sorry, I kind of missed the first part of the question because I'm getting like screamed at on Whisper. So.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No, I don't know. It's not at me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You're good. That's not fair to you. You're the race winner.
I don't know. I don't think I deserve the win because I couldn't find victory lane. And
Okay.
I'm sure as hell not doing a front stretch interview. Getting
Yeah.
something thrown at me. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you talk about the playoffs there. This year has obviously it feels like it's been a battle. We see what the 42 team has done with a big gap to the bubble. Adding a win though tonight, how does this kind of set you up for the round of 8? Obviously you're in it now, but does it make you feel a little more confident going into that round with oh gosh, I already forgot the tracks. That's not good.
I think it is
Kentucky,
Homestead, Martinsville. So
I mean, I know you're pretty good on the mile and a halves, but does that help too, kind of getting a couple extra points in the bucket?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with obviously the competition here is fierce. We've got the 42 still in the playoffs, Randall, the 68 as well. They're always going to be up there. So any day I can beat those guys is definitely a good day. And I feel like it feels good to get like back in victory lane. It's kind of been an up and down season, I guess. We got some wins early in the season and kind of had a stretch of like 10 races where I didn't even finish in the top 10. So this feels good to be back here.
Well, feels good to be in victory lane once again, Tyler. Congratulations on the win. Before we let you go, though, floor is yours. You know what to do, buddy.
I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. I know that's your line, actually.
That's okay. Now I don't have to say it.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Maybe try out the league, I guess, next season. Join Melon Car, because it's cool. I don't know. Yeah, I'm bad at this.
Demolish the Texas Motor Speedway? Are you?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Texas sucks.
All right.
I don't.
Just one. The winner's saying it sucks. It's just like the COT, right?
I like the COT. What do you mean?
I meant like, Kyle Busch saying the car sucked and the...
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Come on, Tyler.
Um,
Well, nonetheless, once again, Tyler, congratulations on the win here tonight. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you, and thank you for broadcasting, as always.
No problem. Tyler Mallon, driver the number 81 Intel Toyota, your race winner here tonight. Let's go ahead and next bring in our second place finisher, driver of the number 15 Funko Pop Toyota, Matt Watkins. Matt, you got a copy?
Yes.
All right. I like it. Nice and to the point. I'm going to get right to the point. Spinning out, coming to pit lane. How much of a oh bleep moment was that?
Just shock. I look at the replay. I don't know if it was my shifter calibration is a little off. So if I'm in third, if I hit it too hard, I can tap it in the first. And like the replay, I was in first for way too long. So I think I just literally missed a shift. And yeah, just went to first.
Obviously, we saw tonight. We know at this point that the Texas Motor Speedway is a pretty tough place to pass, but you started shotgun on the field back there on row number 11. How were you able to make your be so effective in a race that we saw a lot of cautions, not a lot of time to make green flag passes and get yourself up to the front?
Really just nailing pit stops. Gaining 2 spots every caution, that adds up. And then just trying to follow a car that you think is going to get momentum in the lanes and try to get a couple spots there. Because I learned the hard way. The top was just way too dominant tonight because I finally got the lead and I was trying to just cruise on the bottom, and then Mallon and I think Greg got by me. Just then lesson learned, but it's a little too late at that point.
Well, Matt, one last question for you. Obviously, not a win tonight, so not locked into that round of 8, but a good finish. How does that kind of make you feel going into Talladega and then the Roval in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's good to get a good finish. We, I don't think I've had a top 5 finish in a month and a half. Everything has gone wrong. So it's good to get a good finish. And congrats to Mallon. He ran a really good race. Yeah, I would have really liked to get one more restart because, short run, I was pretty good. So might have had a chance, but maybe not. But good job to him. Good job to Toby getting a third. He needed that too. It's been a while since he got a top 5 too. So, it's a good night. Pretty happy.
Well, Matt, as always, it's a pleasure talking with you. Before we let you go, though, the floor is yours. Friend, family, sponsors, you know the deal. Go for it.
Yeah, just happy to get a good run finally. Track was pretty fun. It's just top was really dominant, so it's just a matter of just getting good track position. But I appreciate you guys for doing the broadcast. It's been a hot minute, other than I guess Daytona was last time. But it's good to see you guys back, and hopefully we can have some good luck with the reigning playoffs here, and just get the rocking ham and then see what happens.
Hey, we hope to talk to you then, Matt. Again, congratulations on the second place run, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Matt Watkins, driver of the number 15, your second place finisher here tonight. Let's go ahead and finally bring in driver of the number 64 Penske Toyota, Toby Roberson. You got a copy, Toby?
Yes, I do.
Third place. That has to feel pretty freaking good. Take us through the race.
Fantastic. It was a caution-filled race, unfortunately, but a lot of exciting, close side-by-side racing. Just doing my best to stay near the front to give myself an opportunity there at the end, keeping my car clean, out of trouble.
We saw at the start, I never like using the word struggle, but really struggled at the start of the race on the outside line. You fell back early on. How are you able to mentally rebound from that to finish third? Because by the end of the race, you were one of the movers and shakers at the front of the field.
Absolutely. At the beginning, I wasn't too concerned with holding my spot up front. I thought tires were going to play more of a factor.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we just didn't get those long green flag runs. So I just kind of had to change my mindset halfway through and say, well, okay, I'm going to have to be more aggressive if I'm going to have a chance at this. So I started to, slowly make my way towards the front to put myself in a better position when those final pit stops came up, and just right place, right time with the caution.
Well, right place, right time, third place run. Now, that third place run has to make you feel a little bit better with the cut line looming right behind you coming into tonight. How does a good finish here at Texas set you up for these next 2 weeks at Talladega and at the Charlotte Roval?
Well, we have two very difficult tracks, for me at least, coming up. Just to be perfectly honest, I haven't finished in the top 10 at a road course this year. It's not really my strong suit. So getting a good finish today really helps me as far as the point situation goes. And then Talladega, it's always a toss-up. One wrong move and you're flipping 20 times. So this was the only race I knew I have complete control over my point situation.
Well, executed tonight, Toby. Congratulations once again on the podium finish. Before we let you go, though, floor is yours. Friends, family, sponsors, you've done this before. You know what to do.
Yeah, thank you, Joe and Weaver, for doing your best, putting on a great show up there in the booth, keeping everyone entertained. Thank Randall over here at Fast. He's been doing a really good job this season, putting good setups underneath us, and just trying to make it as exciting and fun as possible. Like to thank just everyone who tuned in and decided to watch and stick it all the way through to the end. I wish I could have given Tyler more of a run for his money, but it was exciting behind the wheel for me, at least.
Well, Toby, it was an exciting race to watch. Again, congratulations on the third place run, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Of course. Have a good night.
Toby Roberson, driver the number 64, your third place finisher tonight from Texas. Well, Weaver, that's going to sum up tonight's events. I mean, another no limits Texas race. No limits on crashes, cautions, good side-by-side racing. You had it all tonight.
Yeah, we did, Joe. I think that was a quintessential Texas race. Like you said, got a little bit of everything. Had some good racing there at the end. Congratulations, Tyler Mountain, coming away with the victory.
And folks, remember, if you want to see more great racing action, you want to make sure you're subscribed to us here on JTN, the JoeTow Network. You just hit that little button if you haven't already, and you will not miss a second of the action. Make sure you're following us at JoeTow Network on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Got all those links down in the video description below. With all that being said, though, folks, cannot thank you enough for tuning in tonight. For all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for Joseph Weaver, for myself, Joe Twansky, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! Turn 4 into the trioval. Whitehill in through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Off the ride and they're wrecking behind him. You have cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Behind, they're going to be side by side again. Contact there between Sinner and Bordeaux for
Oh, the contact! Oakley into the wall. That's going to be Jack Healy coming to the line.
Jack Healy wins the ride.